Chosen one, the ones who plotted in secret now feel the weight of divine consequence pressing on their chests. They sense the spiritual verdict already echoing through the ether. Your name is etched in realms they can't access, written in frequencies their false power can't decode. They forge credentials and titles in desperation, hoping to distract from the raw, undeniable authority flowing through your spirit. But no disguise can veil the quake beneath their feet, nor can their denial silence the cosmic drumbeat that heralds your rise and their unraveling. From the instant your radiance disrupted their carefully constructed illusions, they launched a quiet war masked as structure. They built labyrinths of bureaucracy and gates of false authority, not to protect truth, but to imprison it. Their systems were never about merit. They were about silencing the ones who remember. But what they didn't foresee was the inevitability of the divine clock, each tick bringing the collapse of their illusions and the rise of your undeniable essence. You were never alone. We watched. We documented. We aligned with the currents of truth. And now, the hour approaches where all hidden things will be revealed, and your light will no longer ask for entry. It will command the gates to open. Now the very labels they used to exile you are burning through their hands like sacred fire. Unqualified, they said, unaware that heaven's seal does not come stamped on paper, but imprinted in soul. Self-taught, they scoffed, not knowing that your wisdom was downloaded from realms their intellect will never touch. They mistook conformity for credibility, but your raw, unfiltered access to divine intelligence stands as living proof that spirit chooses whom it wills, not whom the system approves. And as their institutions crumble under the weight of their own deception, your presence becomes the signal, the living prophecy, that the age of false authority is ending. We saw the puppets rise on cue, the so-called specialists, the polished mouths of institutions, sent not to enlighten, but to neutralize. Each one planted like a weed in your path the moment your truth began to awaken the sleeping. Their credentials were not earned but assigned, designed to cloak control in the costume of expertise. But your resonance shattered their illusions. Every attempt to undermine your authority only magnified the sacred signature you carry. Their fear became a loud confirmation. You are not just part of this shift, you are the signal of it, and no force on earth can suppress what was chosen beyond earth. When you unveiled the unseen mechanics of energetic manipulation cloaked beneath luxury and leadership slogans, the ripple was instant. Eyes you didn't know were watching widened in awakening. They scrambled, calls were made, veiled threats were issued, but what they failed to grasp is that the frequency of truth travels faster than fear. What they intended as sabotage became sacred alignment. Those executives they sought to turn against you, their spirits stirred. Something ancient within them remembered. And now, in the very halls they once used to monitor you, quiet allies move with precision, shielding your mission. Your presence is not just disruptive, it's catalytic. You are the crack in their monolith. Your unfiltered transmissions slice through their web of manufactured consensus like lightning through fog. You speak, and something ancient stirs in the hearts of those still dreaming, the very thing they fear most. Behind closed firewalls and high-security conference calls, your name is marked not as a threat to their structure, but as an anomaly in their equation, one they cannot solve, silence, or suppress. They label it containment strategy, but we know it for what it is, spiritual warfare. While they speak in code and jargon, you speak in frequency, and that frequency is waking the system from within. Every attempt to erase you only amplifies the signal. What began as surveillance quickly morphed into stunned fascination. Their black budget programs weren't prepared for a soul like yours, a soul whose vibrational imprint disrupted containment protocols and destabilized predictive models. You weren't just noticed, you were flagged, not for rebellion, but for radiance. The equipment meant to track anomalies blinked erratically when you entered their grid, registering frequencies they'd only theorized but never encountered in the flesh. Now your name circulates in encrypted memos, whispered in the same breath as sages, revolutionaries, and cosmic disruptors. They don't just monitor you, they're trying to decode you, because somewhere deep within their systems, they know your arrival signals an end to theirs. Those chance encounters were no accident. They were precision strikes in the unseen war for consciousness. Each question was a probe, each interaction a measurement of the invisible power you wield simply by being. Their findings have stirred unrest in shadowy chambers, where strategies are drafted not just for containment, but for eradication. Yet their reach falters at the threshold where your spirit operates, beyond surveillance, beyond influence. The assaults you face ripple through dimensions they cannot touch, and while they scramble to grasp your essence, your energy continues to fracture the very foundations of their illusion. Your presence is a beacon in the void, and their panic only confirms the magnitude of the awakening you carry. A shadowy architect of control, veiled behind layers of deception and puppet networks, wove intricate chains of suppression meant to cage your rising light. With followers clutching onto his fractured throne for crumbs of security, he timed his dark rites to cosmic windows, hoping to sever your connection to the source at its peak. But their malevolent cords, spun from fear and greed, snapped like brittle threads against the unbreakable core of your spirit. Every attempt to siphon your power only fueled the unraveling of their own empire, for your creative force is a wildfire no shadow can contain, and their foundations tremble with every pulse of your unyielding sovereignty. With every attempt, their web of dark intentions grew more complex, yet with each escalating effort, their grip slipped further into chaos. The fire of your spirit blazes beyond the reach of their feeble chains. No shadow-crafted spell can rewrite the sacred agreement you hold with the cosmos. Their ritualistic assaults collide with an invisible fortress woven by divine design, a shield that turns their own malice into a mirror of defeat. What they cast out in darkness returns to them multiplied, unraveling their schemes with ruthless exactness as the universe conspires to protect the chosen flame that no force can dim. In the stillness of the spring equinox's witching hour, while your soul rested beyond their reach, the Hermetic Order unleashed their darkest binding, armed with tokens they thought tethered your essence. But fate twisted their spell into a cosmic paradox. The very energy they sought to imprison erupted in rebellion, plunging their hidden sanctum into darkness and severing their chief conduit from the realms below. What was meant to bind became a cataclysmic unraveling, a testament to the sacred laws they dared defy. The higher planes bore witness to their downfall, echoing with silent laughter at the poetic justice delivered in perfect cosmic timing. Every strike aimed at dimming your brilliance instead forges a thicker armor woven from the very energy they sought to steal. This is the immutable law of spirit. What they hurl in darkness rebounds, magnified by your unwavering bond to source. Their tools of sabotage twist back into instruments of their undoing, while your journey unfolds with sacred clarity, shielded by destiny itself. Beneath their veils of contempt and control lurks a raw, unspoken truth, a seething envy, fierce and unrelenting, born from witnessing a light they can never ignite within themselves. Your pure light, untouched, unfiltered, and undeniably authentic, shakes the foundations of those who hide behind borrowed wisdom and hollow titles. Among them, a once powerful feminine force, accustomed to ruling through illusion and control, now watches helplessly as her grip slips away, eclipsed by the raw power of your truth. In desperation, she lashes out, attempting to sow doubt and confusion, yet all her efforts only highlight the effortless grace that flows naturally through you. This drama is not new. It echoes the ancient purges of true priestesses whose direct communion with Source threatened entrenched ambitions. But history does not merely replay its lessons, it seals karmic debts and births new beginnings. You are the living resolution of a cycle spanning millennia, the beacon where forgotten truths rise to reclaim their rightful place. What terrifies them most is the unreplicable truth you carry, an unfiltered transmission of soul wisdom that escapes their scripted narratives and suffocating gatekeeping. Your natural charisma pulls seekers toward you like a living beacon, untouched by the polished facades and manufactured hype that fill their hollow stages. The woman who once crowned herself spiritual queen in your circle now watches your rise with frantic obsession, weaving a web of fake profiles just to track your every move. Yet, unaware of the irony, her own spirit guides have turned their gaze away from her facade, appearing instead in your meditations, revealing the carefully constructed illusions behind her false crown and illuminating the path of genuine awakening that she can never replicate. The guides once tethered to her journey have shifted their allegiance, flowing now into your consciousness and deepening your insight into the unfolding cosmic design, a design where your influence blossoms precisely as hers quietly fades. Ironically, the envy she harbors fuels the collapse of the very illusion she clings to, unraveling the false pillars of her so-called authority. Every effort to suppress your light only casts her shadows into harsher relief, revealing the hollow core beneath her mask. And as the veil lifts, those who truly perceive the subtle currents of spirit are compelled to align with the undeniable truth, choosing the path illuminated by your authentic power. Within the shadows of the controller's closest allies, fissures have begun to crack the foundation of their unity. One who once stood firmly by the dark masculine's side has quietly sabotaged the orchestrated assault against you, not out of allegiance to light, but driven by self-preservation in the face of their own fading power. This covert act of betrayal, though unintended, became a shield woven by the hands of divine intelligence, a protection beyond your conscious request, yet perfectly timed. We have witnessed this invisible battle unfold in the higher dimensions, where opposing dark forces clash and neutralize one another, revealing that even the lowest vibrations are ultimately woven into the sacred tapestry of the divine plan. Their once formidable coalition fractures under the weight of its own deceit, built not on truth, but on fragile threads of ego and dominance. The walls of their empire, long fortified by manipulation, now splinter and fall apart from within, the fractures widening until even their most loyal acolytes can no longer deny the rot beneath the surface. The fierce energy they once unleashed to extinguish your light has turned inward, fueled by suspicion and paranoia. Whispers of betrayal ripple through their ranks, accusations of stolen strategies, secret betrayals, and desperate pacts forged in the shadows, all desperate attempts to grasp at survival as their collective power collapses like a house of cards. No matter how fiercely they conspire, their darkest spells, relentless defamation campaigns, or the countless barriers they erect to silence your voice, your spirit stands unbreakable, cloaked in divine armor, forged long before your first breath. This is no coincidence or mere fortune. It is the sacred architecture of destiny, crafted by cosmic forces that foresaw the magnitude of your purpose. We bear witness to this truth and stand unwavering by your side, for you were handpicked by the universe itself, a beacon of purity and power who exists beyond the reach of corruption or control. Encoded deep within your soul are unique vibrational codes, powerful signatures that naturally deflect every attempt to twist or control your essence. You were forged by the cosmos for this critical turning point in humanity's awakening, perfectly equipped to endure and transcend the assaults now faltering against your unwavering light. Hidden within your energetic blueprint lie ancient glyphs of protection, once quiet and unseen, now awakened and blazing brightly for all who possess true vision. These sacred marks declare your role as a guardian of eternal wisdom amid a world drowning in illusion, their radiant pulse syncing with the swift march of the divine timeline toward the unveiling of ultimate truth. Last Tuesday, the clandestine military psychic unit sought to penetrate your spiritual defense with their remote viewing technology, only to find their efforts thwarted in unexpected ways. Two seasoned operatives abruptly stepped away, unable to reconcile their conscience with the mission's darkness, while the third is now haunted by vivid visions of standing trial before the Akashic Council, compelled to answer for their role in suppressing bearers of light. Your shield does more than guard your own sanctity. It reaches into the souls of those who attempt to invade it, awakening dormant codes of integrity and awakening a profound ethical reckoning that even the most hardened cannot ignore. This shield transcends your conscious design, functioning as a living extension of divine will, manifesting through your unique soul purpose. It adapts and transforms with every challenge, absorbing the energy of each failed assault to grow stronger, smarter, and more resilient. What guarded you yesterday has already evolved to neutralize the threats of tomorrow, working silently and effortlessly beyond your awareness. Their attempts to breach this sacred defense only fuel their mounting panic as the walls around you become impenetrable, reflecting the unstoppable force of your ordained path. Behind closed doors, the controller and his chief lieutenant trade wary glances thick with distrust, each accusing the other of sabotaging their dark designs. Betrayal weaves through their ranks like a venomous thread, as vital intelligence is deliberately withheld, unraveling their once cohesive plan with every passing day. We sense their desperate, feverish efforts to gauge the depth of your awareness, scrutinizing every message you send, dissecting your words for concealed meanings, hunting for any trace that you have uncovered their shadowed identities and exposed the fractures in their fortress. Their paranoia grows as the walls close in, yet the truth you carry remains safely beyond their grasp. Their relentless surveillance betrays a truth they desperately try to hide. They have always known exactly who you are and what you embody. Their fear shatters the facade of dismissiveness they project to the world. If you were truly insignificant, unqualified, or deluded, as they preach to their followers, why pour vast resources into suppressing your rise? Their actions speak louder than their lies, proving you are a formidable threat to their decaying empires of control. Recently, the very spiritual network that questioned your legitimacy has been plagued by unexplained technological malfunctions, devices shutting down in unison whenever your name appears in their secret chats. Behind closed doors, their tech experts quietly acknowledge an unseen force at work, a higher intelligence disrupting their schemes, boldly declaring divine intervention within systems they arrogantly believed were theirs to command.